Known in 5 years, I've never heard you.
Hey, guys, welcome to Night Owls. And how you doing, Sasha?
Good, how are you?
Who do you got in your lap?
It's Buddy. He's kind of,
Oh,
you make him nervous though.
I make him
You
nervous.
do. He's a good little guy.
Well, guys, hey, welcome. We're doing the original gangster Night Owls, where it's actually late at night, and we've gone through various iterations of Night Owls, but it's always fun. It's always one of the more popular programs
It
that we
is.
do. And because we just talk about whatever, and I got some just we'll just talk about some more non-serious stuff. But if you guys have any questions about serious politics, we'll answer them. But we typically talk about movies, culture, gossip, whatever's
Yeah.
going on. There's a lot of stuff happening, and we'll talk about that. And we do this. We kind of move this around. Went Friday. What day did we originally do it? Do
I
you
think like
remember?
Thursday or Wednesday.
Yeah, the original idea was to do it when Sasha actually gets off work. She works in the evenings, gets off around 12,
Well,
11:30.
then we started like right before COVID hits, and we did it before I would go to work. And it was like
Yeah.
the Paul and Sasha show.
Uh,
Remember originally, and then it was in the daytime. It was like at 3 o'clock, or no, it was before I went to work, so like 1 o'clock. Remember?
we did night owls in the day.
Well, it was pre-night owls,
Oh, pre-night
and then we
owls.
changed it to night owls. You don't remember that?
Hmm.
It was like the Paul and Sasha show.
Oh,
And we'd sit
I
here on
believe
the
you.
couch. It was when you were
Yeah,
still
I'm
living
like
here.
Joe Biden. I forget everything, so I'm just.
Paul's tired and he's cranky.
Nah,
So he's cranky. So
am I cranky?
you were earlier.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not cranky
You
now. It's good to
were.
be here with you guys. And anyway, so all the iterations, but I think we're going to settle here on Friday nights because it's good. It's kind of kicking off the weekend and we can sleep in late. We did have this on Sundays, but I get up at 6 a.m. Sundays to do prep and I do a couple of videos.
Hmm.
And so it just gets a little bit early for me. So I think we're going to do it. And I know some people can't stay up this late, but that's okay. I mean, this is for night
Well, I
owls.
guess if you lived on the West Coast, it wouldn't be that bad because they're what, like 2 hours behind us.
Yeah, so it's 11:30 Central,
So it'd be
10:30
9:30 there.
Mountain, 9:30. So yeah, it's perfect for like Los Angeles. Even East Coast, there's some people that like to watch shows and people watch the
Right.
the
I'm kind
review.
I'm kind of tired today because I had to get up really early and get my oil changed because the place I change it, they're always busy and they're like, "Well, if you get in right when we open," and I open at 7:30, so my friend Brandon gets off work at 7, and
Right.
I said, "Will you come over and just make sure I'm awake?" And he came over like right when I got up. And so he gave me a ride back here because I could take it to those like places that take 10 minutes, but they charge a
Right.
lot of money.
And guys, if you want to interact with the show, we're on YouTube. You can do super chats. Rumble has rants and power chats here. That's always something that you can send in. We already got a power chat from a while back. Kim from Finland sent us one, and we'll talk
And
about
I
that.
still owe Kim a song. I haven't forgot you guys. It's just been
Well, you
hard
had
to
your
get off.
surgery and
Right.
everything else, so
I'll get there. I'm hoping next weekend or maybe even this weekend. I'll get it done.
cool. And I always try to ask people to subscribe to me on YouTube and Rumble and follow me on X. I want to grow an X, and it'd be neat if I ever got 100,000 on YouTube. I don't know if that will ever
It
happen because I'm
might.
shadow banned,
Oh,
but
on YouTube? Maybe
yeah,
not.
I'm hoping that. But we will see. We will see.
And also write to us at P.O. Box 8093, Fayetteville, Arkansas 72703.
Oh, you got that memorized.
Yes, because Paul always forgets to tell people.
I do. I have lots of flaws, and that's one of those. This is from Kim from Finland, and let me just get this in here. We already got some stuff. We got super chats. Joseph Frozen, love your all show. You guys are
Oh,
awesome.
thank you.
Well, thank you. And we're back in the saddle, so to speak, because Sasha had her surgery. And how you doing, by the way, health wise?
I'm all right.
Have you felt better since you've had it out?
Yeah, I mean, well, kinda. I feel like pulling, kind of, because I have a big scar sometimes. Like earlier in the week, I kind of felt that, and I looked it
Yeah.
up online, and they said that's kind of normal when you're healing.
Oh, it feels like it's pulling
Because it's
on
a
the
big
skin.
scar. Like he said that they had to do 2 more centimeters than they normally do on
Yeah,
my throat.
because
He
it's a
said he
big.
did the basic incision, and he said the thing wouldn't come out, and so it was really swollen and sore, and
Yeah,
I was getting headaches and stuff the first like few days, and It was rougher than I thought it was gonna be. And it was funny, this guy I work with, he's a little autistic, and he's like, "Oh my God, you look like a Frankenstein monster." I'm like, "Gee, thanks." And Brandon's like, "You might have to get plastic surgery to fix your
Nah,
scar."
it'll
And I was
heal.
like, "It's only been 3 weeks, guys." And I said, "Screw that. After I had to be put under and get sick from anesthesia and everything, why in
Hmm.
the hell would I want to be put under again and have to go through more pain just for some superficial reason?" I mean, I don't know. I'm like a fan of horror movies, and I saw somebody on Twitter said that it's a perfect scar for like a horror lover, and it's like, well, it's true.
Well, C-section scars heal pretty well, and you have to make a bigger C-section and pull a baby out than a tumor, don't you?
I would guess.
Yeah, so I think it will heal over time. You'll always have a little scar, but who cares?
Yeah, I don't
You're
really
fine.
care. I'm not that like messed. It wasn't like on my face or anything.
No, and it's kind of yeah. So
So
the good news it wasn't cancer, so that's it. Oh,
I
Dylan, hey Dylan, thank you. You want to read it?
sure. Dylan, thanks. Apologize for missing the roundtable. Was at my church festival dancing. Had to represent the dancing ability of the white man. Big success, disco star. They say. I love dancing. I wish our church has never danced when I was a kid. I don't know because I grew up Baptist, and I don't know, they're not big on dancing.
Well, when I went to a fundamentalist Baptist when I was real young, and I don't think I think dancing was sinful. They said.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
my grandparents, when they grew up, they even had it that having a deck of playing cards was sinful,
hmm
so you couldn't do that, and
yeah. I'm sorry.
you couldn't do anal sex. That was considered sinful.
My aunt used to say her mother, my grandmother that I never met because she died before
Yeah.
I was born, she thought dancing was a sin and they didn't dance, which was funny because my dad loved to dance.
Hmm.
I remember like going to like the town he lived in and they'd have like their little festival every
Yeah.
year. He'd be in the park square dancing with all these old ladies and stuff, and he used to get all dressed up and everyone was like surprised. My friends couldn't believe it because he usually looked like this like dirty woodsman because he'd just
Yeah.
be out like chopping trees or whatever out, and he'd get all gussied up and go out, and women always liked him and he'd get out there and dance with the ladies. And
Yeah. That's like when I go out there dance, I do the worm and the robot.
you do not, you do this.
Thank you.
That's
No.
like how you
No, I do
dance.
the drunk man dance
This is
now.
like the worst lighting ever. I feel like I look like all bloated and gross in the
No, you look
lighting.
good actually. You
When
look
I
really
light,
good.
it's like the light's right here.
Well, you can move it. I
No, it's
mean,
all right.
you
It's too
know,
late now.
it's not too late. The
Yeah,
light's just right
no,
over
it's
there in
fine.
our fancy studio audience.
No, sorry, the place is this place, it's just crazy having to do all this stuff. I've
Yeah,
been like
we're not
working.
at the Mountain Home Studio. We are in Fayetteville at the moment.
My apartment's basically just for sleeping and working anymore. Like I just work and then work on crafts to sell and trying to get everything ready so when I move in I'll have it
Yeah,
done.
it's
It's
kind
just
of
a
weird. A lot
lot.
of people don't realize we don't even live together,
No.
and so that's it's really rare
We
when
spend Friday, Saturday, Sunday together usually.
usually yeah. And
And when I was ill, it was nice though, or when I was my surgery, it was nice because we were together for like the whole week.
yeah.
Well, we were together 2 weeks because we went out of town and we were together that week.
Mhm.
And I saw you pretty much every other day I wasn't because I went and hung out with some friends that I don't see that much
Well, you can
either.
always see me on
Well,
YouTube
I
too.
do. I usually listen to you while I
And if you
work.
send in a super chat, well, I can answer a question if you have anything. So that's the thing, like guys, if you're married, just set up super chats. Like, hey, you want to send in questions? So
Yeah.
that's the way we do.
Come on up, Angel.
Yeah. So what else was I saying? So and then we've been busy. We went to call. We've been like on 3 trips
I keep
within
Paul
2
hopping
months.
and then I'm always planning a new trip.
I know, and I'm like, I need a rest. I need a rest. We got too many trips going on. But
Well, and then I go like the movies. It seems like every weekend. Like last weekend, I went and saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind with Brandon because
hmm
Paul didn't want to go. Well, because you had your round table too.
hmm
Because I had never seen it, and he said he'd only ever seen it on TV. I didn't think it was that great. Like it was
Didn't you
okay.
say you're going to see Behind the Green Door? I thought you
No,
said.
that's not going to be playing in the theater here.
Oh, have you ever
Yeah,
seen
they're gonna.
it?
Yes, I have, and it's a yeah.
You have.
I have.
You got to know my audience. Now they're not going to watch.
No,
I
am I
disavow.
supposed to lie?
I
I'm
I've
being honest. I have seen it.
I've never seen porn.
I've seen tons of movies, like all kinds of
Oh,
movies.
all kinds of
I've been
movies.
on an old black and white movie kick. When I was recuperating, I would sit on Paul's couch and I made this candy house that
Yeah.
this lady gave us for our wedding registry. It's like this kit. and it's super cute, and you put it together and it's got a light in it, but I have to put a battery in it. But I sat there and I sat with Button and we would watch black and white movies. So I watched Dinner at 8. I watched The Postman Always Rings Twice.
There's
the
a lot
one
of
from
good.
the
There's a lot of
50s.
good black and white
I
movies.
love old movies,
Yeah.
and I just read a book about Clark Gable, and I just get like so absorbed in that stuff. And I remember how I got into it when I was 20. I was 20 years old, and my friend had a book about Marilyn Monroe called Goddess, and it's still in print. You can still get this book. And she read it, and she really liked it. And my aunt was a big Marilyn Monroe fan because she was a 50s girl. And I read it and I liked Marilyn. And then it's like, then you read about other stars from the era. And then I went to the library and I got a book about Judy Garland because I always loved Wizard of Oz. And it's like a gateway. And then it's Garbo.
I'm
and
going to say
Crawford
something
and,
controversial. I think Marilyn Monroe was overrated.
I mean, I like her, but yeah, you're kind of right. She's not my favorite anymore. She's a gateway. Me and Mosca have talked about this because he's into old movies too. The other night we were texting each other back
Gay
and
men
forth.
love Marilyn Monroe, don't they?
Yeah, well, Mosca's kind of in my camp. He used to love her, and I mean, there's
And
a part of
Betty
me that always
Davis
he
and-
loves Betty Davis. Like that's
Yeah.
his favorite. And but we kind of talked about how Marilyn's a gateway because she's the one everybody knows. And if you start watching her movies, you'll see other old actors and actresses, and then you start watching their stuff. And I mean, I even got into silent movies. I would watch all kinds of old, like I love Harold Lloyd. You know who else likes movies like that is Jim Goad.
Did you ever tell them my idea? Because sometimes I'm like brainstorming. Sasha thought this was a bad idea, but it's like the opposite of a silent movie. Did I tell you
Oh
that?
God, I can tell you haven't had a lot of sleep. Yes, basically an audiobook is Paul's idea.
No, silent movies, you have the movie without sound. Why can't you have a movie with just sound without the?
Yeah, it's called an audiobook.
No, you'd have like a
Or a
like a
podcast.
picture up or something. So anyway,
It's a
that's my
stupid
idea. Yeah, she's always shooting down my money making ideas.
It's not a
So
money making.
you should
idea.
support me. So
It's kind
that's
of
what
like
you
we were
do.
listening in Colorado in the car. I got
That
this
was a lot
book.
of fun. We were listening to audiobook about the Kennedys.
Yes, it just came out. Megan Kelly had this
It's
lady that
good.
wrote it on her show,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Holy shit!" She was telling all these
All
stories about
this
the Kennedys.
gossip. I had no idea the Kennedys screwed around so much.
I knew they were scum, but I didn't know. And even RFK is scum. I mean, I kind of thought that before. At first, I kind of liked him, and I was like, okay, he's not that bad. And then, like Mosca said, he goes, he's a Kennedy, though. And I'm like, yeah, Mosca's probably right. And then he was on Megyn Kelly's show, and he flip-flopped on everything she asked him. And I said, okay, this guy can't be trusted. And then we listened to this book, and you find out he had a wife that committed suicide, and they moved her... was she in an urn or a coffin? I don't know.
No, they married her. They buried her in the Kennedy plot, but then after they buried her, he had her moved out away from them.
Yeah. I mean...
I thought that was kind of funny.
But they all seem like douchebags. But even like JFK Jr., it was funny because he had an idea, like you said, he wanted to rent a dog, like because he'd go to the park and people would talk to him because he had a dog.
He was really stupid. He had this idea, guys, because he was kind of came from a privileged family. But he had like this brilliant idea because all these people would come up to me when I'm walking my dog. So he had a business idea. He wanted to start a business where you could rent a dog, literally. So
Well-
it's just like you don't buy a dog, you just like rent it for the afternoon to walk it.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the hell?
I told Brandon about
Yeah.
that at work the other night, and he said that's not a bad idea. He said,
Oh.
he said me and my dad were at the park, and he goes, you've seen both of us, and he said he had his dog with him, and all these hot model-looking women came up to us, and it's like just because they come up to you to pet your dog doesn't mean you're going to be able to hook up with.
You know
one of
what
them.
would really be good, and hear me out, and this, I'm being inclusive here, everyone. I know I'm on YouTube, but you could, you can rent women, they're escorts, but what about rent people of other ethnicities, like rent a black?
Oh, to take with you to like a party or
No,
something.
to
show you're
take
not
it
racist?
to take it with you to like the GOP convention, so you could show that you're totally not racist.
Oh yeah, you could.
I think that'd be a good idea. So I don't know, and you could get different types. So I like that idea. I like that idea. I might have to ponder that.
But yeah, the Kennedy book's pretty
Yeah,
good.
the Kennedys were really sleazy. I knew a little bit about Ted. He ended up killing that Mary. What was her name?
Joe Kopechne.
Joe Kopechne. And that was a really strange story. They were having a party, and Ted Kennedy was like, they all drank a lot, by the way, back in the 60s. If you ever watch movies from the 60s or 70s, one of the
Everybody
first
drank.
things,
I'm gonna
it's
fix my
like,
chair a little
it was
bit.
just like they get home, and the first thing they do when they get home is they pour a drink. And I'm not talking about a glass of wine. I'm talking like brandy or something
Yeah.
heavy. And So all the Kennedys drank, but Ted he was an alcoholic. At the end, you could tell it. He was real puffy.
Yeah.
But supposedly, and what they did, they liked to mess around with a lot of younger girls. And they had a year after his brother Bobby was killed, they had, a tribute to him. But they had like a cookout in, Chappaquiddick.
Yeah.
And it was like these older guys, and then you see, they always hired these young girl interns for whatever reason.
Of course.
You can figure that out. And then he ended up driving off a bridge, supposedly. He knew the area. And he had the girl in the back. What's her name, Joe?
Mary Jo.
Mary Jo in the back seat. And he didn't bother to they didn't call the fire department or anything for, it was getting messed up.
Yeah, I just wanted to lean back a little bit.
Or like until the next morning he called.
Well, he didn't give a shit. Like,
Well,
he
because
cared
he
more
was,
about
what
his
happened,
career.
I think happened, he was drunk. And he claims, I wasn't drinking that night. Bullshit.
Well, then why'd he go off a bridge? You
Ted
don't just
Kennedy,
drive off a
at that
bridge.
age in the 60s, not drinking at a
No,
party. Come on.
He was an alcoholic because
I
they
know.
said that in the book.
But see, he didn't want to, his lawyer was there, and they didn't want to get charged for, being drunk and killing her.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is he just didn't report it till the next day. Poor girl drowned to death. And then he was just charged with leaving the scene of an accident, which was like really no penalty.
Whoa.
He was a bad one.
Whole bunch of money just flew in
Yes.
there. Wow, guys. I'll go all night if all this money keeps going. Paul
Yeah.
won't make it, but
Oh,
real
I
truth,
have
$50
stamina. I have a stamina of a dwarf in D&D.
Oh, thank you so much. $50. Thank you. I
Thank you.
always felt what the Kennedys did to their sister shows what kind of family they were. Sasha, I hope you're doing okay. That scar looked pretty gnarly, and God bless you guys. You can see the scar a little bit. It's better. It's not as bad as it was, but it's only been 3 weeks. But yeah, well, she's the one. I haven't got to that part in the book. Isn't she the one that they put in a nut house? Rose. She's the one that disappeared, and they
Well,
never
she
said
was,
where she disappeared, but
she
they
was,
put her in an
mentally-
asylum.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had a lobotomy. And she was
But
always
there's nothing
slow.
wrong with her, was it there?
Well, she was like, I don't know if you could say the R word on YouTube, but mentally disabled. And she was,
So why would they do that though? What's a lobotomy going to help with that?
I don't know. So yeah, that was pretty
I think the
horrible.
Kennedys are evil. Like the father was a douchebag. He used to mess around with Gloria Swanson back in the 20s. I think he might have even financed some of her movies.
Well, I think they were kind of like a Chads, where their idea was, and it was just accepted if you're within the Kennedy, the husband's going to screw around with other women.
Yeah, they are.
That was
yeah.
just like you had to.
Isn't that all
expect that.
politicians though?
Yeah, but they were on a different level,
Mm-hmm.
I think. They really were. There's a few times that they, like, Jackie put her foot down when Marilyn did her infamous singing Happy
Yeah.
Birthday. She told him, you got to stop seeing her. If you ever see her again, we're divorced. And at that point, she said, if that happens, that's it. You're not getting reelected.
Yeah. Now nowadays, I don't think anyone would give a damn.
No,
Obviously,
but-
like our politicians have gone way downhill.
Well, now we have Pete Buttigieg, who's not even interested in that. So you'd have
Right.
like, yeah.
Well, and then you have Biden who like sniffs little kids. And, like,
Yeah, sniff.
everything else. But
What's with that sniffing kids? I've never had a desire to sniff a
I don't
kid.
know. I had to get up early this morning and drop the car off, and then when I came back, I tried to go back to sleep, and I laid down, and it was hard for me to fall back asleep. And I was on Twitter, just scrolling through Twitter.
Yeah.
And there were so many stories about Joe Biden. I had a dream about Joe Biden. It's like I had a dream that they
Uh-oh.
hired me for something, and he kissed
Was
me,
it
and I
a
was all
was
grossed
it
out.
it's a sexual
It was
dream you had
gross,
with
though.
him.
I was disgusted.
So it's a sexual dream with Joe
No, it
Biden.
wasn't. Like there were other people around. It was gross. It was one of those things. They were at an airport, and then he kissed someone else too. And I'm like, okay, I need to get off Twitter.
Would you rather have sex with Joe Biden or Bill Clinton?
Ugh. When they were young or now? Like, were they young or what they look like now?
How about now first?
Ooh, I don't know. I'd have to see what Bill Clinton looks like now. I would have to say, honestly, Joe Biden when he was young. He looked better than Bill Clinton when he was young. Young, not in the 80s, like way, way back. When he was like in
Right.
his
Well,
20s.
maybe if you would have been his daughter, you would have got the chance.
It's so gross. It's gross.
I'm just saying,
Gross.
just
But
saying.
it is a good book. It's called Ask Not. We saw it at Sam's. You remember that?
Yeah, it's real catty, and I don't know how much is true, but my God, it tears
some
up
of it is true.
Yeah, it
though.
tears up the Kennedys and how sleazy they were, and this story after story. But I was thinking, they would have been like a good, like Nick Fuentes and the Graper, where you just have your women, and you don't your
Well, they
wife
were
is just,
Catholic. Maybe that's where they got all that from. I
but
never
I
understood that.
I don't think Catholics are supposed to sleep around.
But they do though. I
Yeah.
had a friend, and I won't say his name. He doesn't watch anyway. His father, they were Catholic. His father slept around. They were hardcore Catholics too. They wouldn't let him go to concerts. They they went through all of his books. The guy is kind of nuts too, and I think part of it's because he was micromanaged as a kid or whatever from his parents. Well, then you found out later, because I always thought his dad seemed kind of mean. His dad was beating his mom. Like I never saw that, but that's what I found out later. And then he gave her an STD because he was sleeping around because he like did trucking for a living, and he picked up some whore at a truck stop and gave his mom gonorrhea.
Yeah, see,
And they were great Catholics. It's funny because I have a rosary that his mom was a nice lady, but I have a rosary that she gave me like
I
years
guess it's
ago.
better to get flowers or diamonds, not an STD to your girl. So
Yeah, but I still have the rosary, and used to put it in my car.
yeah,
On the rearview mirror. And Mosca hates the Catholic Church, and I remember he got in my car and he saw it, and he just like picked it up and threw it in the glove box, and I said, "Hey, put that back." And I found it, and now it's on my car again. I cleaned it up, and so I can't wait till he gets in my car so he can get upset about it.
Well, another thing about the
It's pretty.
and getting back to the Kennedys and Jackie, I forgot she was basically sold herself to Onassis.
She did.
I mean, he literally paid her, and they had it in their marriage contract how many times a year she had to have sex with him.
Yeah.
It was, and of course he cheated. And that was just understood.
I always thought she was kind of overrated too. I
Yeah.
don't know. And then you never saw the movie Grey Gardens. You should watch it. There's two versions.
Yeah.
There's a documentary. I think it's from the 60s, and then there's like a movie with Jessica Lange and Drew Barrymore where they play the sisters, or not sisters, I'm sorry, mother and daughter, and they were cousins of Jackie. And they were living in this kind of like rundown, it wasn't a mansion, but it was a really nice home, and they were living and they were both kind of nuts. But the media found out about it, like, oh, these old ladies are living in like squalor because they were both single forever. And I don't remember what happened to the father. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But she showed up there and pretended like she was the loving cousin. And it's like, you didn't give a damn. Like, you only cared when you thought it was going to ruin your image, which fine, I don't care. I have family members that, I don't care about either. And you shouldn't have to pretend to care about them, but don't show up for publicity for yourself and try to make yourself look good. And that's what Jackie did.
Yeah. Looking for the love in all the wrong places he was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And supposedly Kennedy JFK actually slept with an intern, so Clinton wasn't the first to do
No.
that.
Oh, that was the thing I was going to say about JFK Jr., though. He almost caused a plane. I mean, his plane went down, and he killed, his wife and her sister. Were they the only ones on the plane?
I think so.
And so he killed them, and it was his fault. And they said other pilots told him not to go up there. He did anyway. He was an idiot. He got up there, turned his controls off for some reason. So he almost crashed into what was it, United Airlines, American Airlines? There was like a passenger jet with 200 some people in there, and they were headed right toward him. And then they saw it, and they had to divert to keep from hitting their plane. So he could have been responsible for killing all those people.
I'm sorry about this. We're having to share this thing here. I left a splitter at my
Just
home.
keep your hands down.
Well, I gotta reach for my mouse, so that I have to. Go ahead. You can read this from Dylan.
Sure. Thank you. We're knights off the round table. We dance whenever we're able. We sequence his vests and impersonate Clark Gable. It's a busy life in Camelot. Also, samurai and knights were alcoholics and alchemists.
Yeah, the round tables, by the way, guys, I think they're a lot better now, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have it focused on a topic, and I think we're really enjoying that.
I didn't get to listen to all of it because Rumble, something at work. I don't know, Rumble like breaks up or something.
All right, now this is Kim. He's the guy that sent this in.
He's the one I owe a song to.
Yeah, and he sent this in
And I owe Dylan a song too.
earlier this week. Here we go. And see, there's a delay sometimes because what happens, YouTube algorithms got to check to see if you have a naughty thing you're saying. Boy, that's a pain. You want to read this?
Sure. Thank you. This is for Night Owls. Two of my favorite actors are Mel Gibson and Robert Downey Jr. Have you seen a movie Less Than Zero? I have. Just ordered the original Wicker Man from the 70s. It's a masterpiece, Christopher Lee. I love Christopher Lee. I have not seen Wicker Man. I have heard of it, and I've heard it's good. And There's a remake of that too, but I don't know if it's exact remake
Mhm.
or if it's just they kind of took the name. I saw it's funny you mentioned Less Than Zero. I just watched that a couple weeks ago. I was at my friend's house and they have like satellite and they have all
Mhm.
these channels and that was on and we were flipping through and we were talking about how young and how good they all looked, like Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr. and Andrew McCarthy. Did you ever see that movie? I
No.
think we never watched it. Where basically he goes away for college. There are like these three friends, and he goes away for college, and Andrew McCarthy's character does. And he comes back and he finds out his friends are both addicted to like cocaine, and Robert Downey Jr. is addicted to heroin. It was kind of like foreshadowing of Robert Downey Jr.'s life because he was really bad, and he was like having to have gay sex with James Spader or whoever. They didn't show that, but you got the idea. He
Oh.
was James Spader was pimping him out. He was his drug dealer. You never saw that? It's from the
Mm.
80s. It was a you should yeah, I think you'd like it. It's a Bret Easton Ellis
Maybe I would
book.
if I saw it and I recognize it. Because sometimes I don't remember a movie, but I start to watch it again. I'm like, oh, I remember this.
It's good, and it's one of those things that I almost say I like the movie more than the book because some of Bret Easton, I went through a phase where I read like all of Bret Easton Ellis's books. Some of them are kind of like gross and I don't know, kind of like American Psycho. The book is way too graphic and gross. I remember reading it and I was just
This
like,
is
ugh.
where Sasha and I think disagree. I don't know if we disagree in this, but in my opinion, watching American Psycho, most of I don't think the murders happened. They were just his fantasy. I really do believe that. Do you? Is
I
that?
don't know. You should read the book because I
I'm
remember
just
the
doing. I
book he
didn't read the
really
book,
killed
but in the
people.
movie,
I
I think
thought.
it was just his fantasy.
I don't think I could read it again though. It was too graphic and disturbing.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Because he goes into detail about how they kill some of them, and it's kind of some of it's just like, ugh,
oh.
it's gross.
Oh, and
I
another. You told me today a star that you like died today. Shelley Duvall.
She died yesterday, I think. Yeah,
Yesterday.
Mosca loves Shelley Duvall.
She was good in The Shining.
Yeah, he always liked to talk about how because Stanley Kubrick was kind of abusive toward her,
Yeah.
and he said she was kind of nuts before, and he said she was already broken to pieces, and Stanley Kubrick just stomped on the pieces, and I kind of felt bad because it seemed like I don't know, she just
Stanley Kubrick was of the age of the directors. They had more power. And in order to get the actor to be more in the role, he wanted her to feel like an abusive wife because that was the
well,
role
you
she was
kind of
playing.
felt like that.
And so he actually abused her. And after, I mean, not physically, but when he didn't hit her, but when they would do the scenes, he would do them over and over. And he would keep saying, you keep screwing up, Shelley. You're just ruining this movie. Why can't you be like Jack? He's a professional. You're not even a
Mhm.
good actor. And he just she'd be crying and everything.
Well, I always kind of felt like the scenes where she's crying, she seemed like she really was
She
upset.
said in the interviews, she said, the scenes where you see, the knife and she's really crying. She said she wasn't acting, she was crying.
Yeah, you could kind of
because
tell.
he had her do it so many times and he was telling her how she sucks, she shouldn't even act. And why can't, and then he would fawn on Jack, he's
Hmm.
just brilliant. And why did we have you? You're ruining the movie. And he did that intentionally to try to get her into character like a battered wife type of
Hmm.
thing. And by the way, The Shining, Sasha and I disagree on this. I think the movie's a lot better than the book. I think the movie, Stanley Kubrick took a weird twist on it. I don't think there's anything supernatural in the movie. It was all about child molestation, and there's a lot of like elements of fantasy in it. The guy Jack was molesting his kid.
Hmm.
That is my theory
I
of the
don't like
book
to think
Shining.
of him molesting his kid though. That
But I
makes
know
it like
that's what's horrific
grosser.
about it. But yeah.
I don't know. I thought the book was good. I like the books. Like
Oh, I enjoyed the
the
book too,
topiary
but I
statues
just
came to
I'm a
life.
huge
And
fan of Stanley Kubrick. I just love the
I
stuff he
like
did.
Stanley Kubrick too, and I used to like Stephen King. I can't stomach him now. And I saw like he's got a new book out, and I'm like, well, the last time I not get it, he's a shit lib, and I don't like he has Trump derangement syndrome and all that. But I can still enjoy people's art if even though as long as they're not pushing it on you when you're reading it. But he got to the point where he's pushing it on you.
Yeah.
Hey, Button, what's going on?
Well, you attacking the cat button, trying to take your stuff. Come here. Oh, you got the
Um,
cut up stuff.
But anyway, the
Here's
last time I
Johnny,
read
that's
one of
right.
his books was like in 2017 or something. It was called The
Uh-huh.
Institute, and I swear he talked about Trump in the freaking book. And it's like, okay, enough.
Yeah, I know that's
Like, I can't read you anymore if you're going to go on.
yeah, there's always propaganda in movies and in television in the 60s, 70s, 80s. but now it's just so over the top.
Well, and it's like, yeah, you can tell when propaganda. Even when I was a kid, I remember watching 90210, and they had an episode where
A very special
one of the kids
episode on
shot one of them
Blossom.
with a gun,
Yeah,
and
I
it was like
know.
an anti-gun thing. And Melrose Place did the same thing, and I'm like, okay, this is anti-gun, because I grew up in a gun home, like where my dad, like my family are all big gun people, so I was never really scared of guns or anything. And you watch this, and you're like, I see what they're doing here. Or they do with abortion, like on mod and things like that to try to get people to, oh, abortion's really not that bad. It's not that bad to kill your kid. And so people see this, but you can kind of see it. But then when they're specifically writing about politicians in their books like Trump or shitting on people on the right or left, then that's when it's a problem.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, just leave it out of there. And it's like, Stephen King, you write horror novels. And I mean, he did write like The Dead Zone. I thought it was a really good book. And in The Dead Zone, like this guy has to kill, he finds out some politician's going to cause like some nuclear war, so the guy basically, he kills him. And it's probably supposed to be a Republican. Like I don't remember, it's been a long time since I've read it, but I didn't care. I mean, he didn't use like real politicians in it. And even 11/22/63, which I thought was a really good book, where he time travels, and the whole purpose of that book, or the whole premise of that book, was he's supposed to go back to the 60s because he can travel in time to stop JFK from being assassinated, because he thinks things will be better in the future. So he's like left wing. That there's no doubt. But I don't really care about stuff like that. But when it's like when you're just insulting people like that, like Trump or things like that, there's no reason to have that in your book.
Well,
it
it ruins the art. It really does.
And it's nothing to do with the story, and it ages the stories too. I think
it does. It dates them. Oh, we got one from ETNM.
Oh, thank you. Imagine in the 30s if a radio news reporter and newspapers all reported that FDR can walk, and everyone's saying that he is paralyzed, a conspiracy theory. Oh,
wait a minute. That was the one I did long ago. Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't a new one. Sorry about that.
sorry.
Remember, I already did that one. So.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because in that Clark Gable book I read, him and his wife at the time, Carol Lombard, went to the White House.
Yeah.
And FDR was in a wheelchair, and I guess it freaked him out a little bit because you don't see it back then. That they didn't have like TV. You just went to the movies. But people didn't want to know that FDR couldn't walk because people thought it might make the country seem weak. And it's funny because now we have a guy with dementia or whatever's wrong with Joe. I don't know if it's dementia or Alzheimer's or something's wrong.
Hey, you want to see a video clip we can comment on?
Sure. Did somebody send this
Get
to
in
you?
the gym with Jake Shields. That would piss everyone off.
It would piss me off because I would hate it. No, I don't think so. I kind of have to do the gym thing, even though I really don't want to. Just the idea of me like sweating and in workout clothes and like, exerting myself. I just hate that whole idea. I might have to, but I really don't want to. I think it's so plebeian to be in the gym. Exerting myself like that. Who does that? Poor people, broke people, prisoners. Who are the people that work out? Grunts, thugs, prisoners, day workers, cops. This is who works out. You know who doesn't work out? Billionaires, extremely rich people. Donald Trump doesn't work out. Donald Trump has never worked out because he believes that everybody has a finite amount of energy, and when you work out, you're expending it. So
I like that.
I don't know. I don't think that's for me. I don't think chugging all this protein powder. It's so funny. You have all these guys who are like, I will not eat the bugs. I will not, do whatever. And then they eat all this protein powder. You're eating whey protein, you fucking idiot. You're drinking raw eggs and powder like an animal. You're eating chicken, which is not even like good for you. You're eating chicken and powder and raw eggs. But not bugs, but I won't eat bugs. I don't know. I mean, I feel like eating a millipede, eating like one of those millipedes from the jungle is like somehow higher order than eating powder. You're eating raw eggs and powder, and you're going to the gym, putting your hands on the floor, you're palming a dirty floor. Yuck. I don't think so. I'm eating escargot, okay? I'm eating cheeseburgers.
Gross.
I'm eating escargot. I'm eating good food. I'm eating actually good food. I'm
Dude,
eating
eat
steak. I'm eating
McDonald's.
fruit. I'm eating good things. I feel good all the time. I'm eating fried chicken every day. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll do the gym thing.
So what do you think about the gym comments there?
I thought it was funny when he said the only people work out are criminals.
The poor people.
Yeah, I love that. I worked out when I was younger. I don't anymore because
That's not, what he did was kind of a funny routine there.
I thought
but
it was kind of funny.
I don't think is really true. I think rich people, they actually have personal trainers.
They do.
So,
Well, that's
I
how they
don't-
get people in shape. You see these people need to lose a bunch of weight for a role. They have somebody blowing a whistle. and
now
you're
he is
telling
right.
them
They
to-
probably don't go to a gym,
No.
but they have an
No.
in-home gym.
Oh, yeah, because they're rich.
Yeah. And they have a trainer come in.
The
and
only
work with
reason
them.
I don't work out anymore is I work out at my job because I'm on my feet
Mhm.
the whole time I'm at work, pretty much, unless I'm eating lunch. So I'm already walking a ton and lifting heavy shit at night. And the other thing is I get a lot of aches and pains as I get older. My shoulders start to hurt. And it seems like every time I work out, I end up pulling something or just
you know
from
what's
age.
happened? I've noticed as I get older. I don't know if you
Get
guys
off
do
the
this
table,
too.
Chunk.
Yeah, that cat's on there. Get down.
Get off, Chunk. What are you doing?
He's not obeying you.
Get down, fucker. Get down.
We're having a cat fight. The
I don't
cat's
want him on
ignoring,
Get
Sasha.
down.
There we
Idiots.
go.
Vomited on the countertop earlier.
What was that? Yeah, he can overeat and puke.
That's all he does is eat.
Yeah. So
Sorry
what was that?
about
Oh,
that.
you're talking about working out. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, one of the things I found when I get older, that there's times I just don't want to, like I'm supposed to go out and mow because I know I need to mow, but then I'm just sitting there. It's nice and cool inside, and I'm like, I don't think I want to do that. But I
Mhm.
usually end up doing it, but I get more as I get older. I just don't want to do things anymore like that, and it's easy to do that.
$20 still in. Hey, thank you. He says, I collected 10 pounds of lead today for a military industrial complex of the RPK, Ramsey Paul Kingdom, lead, copper, how do you say that? Beryllium,
Hmm.
uranium, and many other recourse. The kingdom is strong. Cheese and steak is best protein.
I love cheese and steak, by the way.
I like cheese.
Cheese, like I said, what's my favorite vegetable, Sasha? Cheese is
Cheese
my
is not a
favorite
vegetable,
vegetable. Well, I
though.
consider it one, and I love steak. And oh, by the way, because I want to thank Dave, he's our real life friend, and he gave us a gift certificate to go out eat, so I could eat a steak. And so thank you, by the way, for that gift certificate, and we really appreciate that. But yeah, I like sometimes I fantasize about food. Some people fantasize about like porn. I sometimes think about food.
I do too.
It's like, yeah, that's really good. So a good steak and a baked potato right now with butter and chives and sour cream. Doesn't that just sound good? Just dig in.
Yeah,
that
I
sounds
didn't
really
eat
good too.
much for dinner.
And then have like a roll, but no, I don't like the hard rolls. I like the real soft rolls. And you could put not just butter, but honey butter. Oh, that is good. You get that on there.
Well, I'm cooking dinner next Saturday night.
Oh, I know
so-
we're having some.
I don't know
friends
how to
over.
make steak though. I've never made. I can make good potatoes, but I've never made steak before.
Yes. Yeah, I do enjoy that.
Steak's
So.
something men are good at making. I don't know. I can make chicken.
Dylan, thank you so much. He's the one that
Yeah,
sent
thank
me
you.
that big copper bar.
Oh,
It's having
yeah.
the back, so that's really cool. So Dylan is very eclectic, I think he's called
He's
the
kinda
term.
like
He's got
me.
a lot of he has a lot
Like,
of different things
he
he
does.
collects. It's really
Like
interesting.
me.
And he's got like rats he collects and
Rats are awesome. I'd love to get a rat. When I move in with you, I have my terrarium for a rodent. Because I used to have hamsters, but
I could have
just
got you a snake, I can tell you
Ugh.
that.
anything but that.
I had to take care of
No.
the I had a see I get my workout. I had a beheaded snake.
Oh, yeah. Ugh. Well, let's not talk about that before bed. I already had dreams about Joe Biden. I don't want to dream about snakes, too.
Oh, is that like a sexual connotation? there
No,
with a
it's
snake
not.
and-
It's just gross. Things that gross me out.
Snakes. Yeah. Well, I didn't really want to. The snake was being mean to me and hissing at me, so I was trying to use my broom to get rid of it, but I didn't want to go, so I got out the big axe. Speaking of The Shining, it was like a axe as big as The Shining. It was a heavy one. I think it's my grandfather's. And I just swung it right at its neck, and its head came off,
Gross.
and it bled.
It's funny. I have a friend, and he likes snakes, but he said he used to work with this woman that was scared to death of snakes,
Yeah.
kind of like me. But he said she can't even look at a picture of a snake. I'm kind of like that to some degree. And he said they had an office kind of in the same area, and so he bought this ugly snake calendar to hang it up so every time she'd walk by, he'd have to look at that snake. I'm like Pee-wee and Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
How can you
when he
not
goes
like
in the pet-
snakes, though? Snakes, did you know they bleed red? I know
don't
they bleed
care.
red, so.
He went in the pet store. That always, maybe that's why that's my favorite movie. I could always relate to that when they were rescuing all the animals from the fire, and he keeps looking at the snake tank, and he's like, whoa. And then at the end, it shows him just grabbing all the snakes because he doesn't want to let them die, and he screams and he just passes out. That's what I would have probably done too.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably would have left them in there to burn up in the fire, but if I had the balls to pick them up.
Oh, speaking of which, Sasha saw a movie she never with Brandon that they never saw before. Maybe Brandon did. Close Encounters of
Just
the
meant-
Third Kind.
I mentioned that like earlier on in the show.
Oh, really? I must have
Yeah.
been doing something else,
You
not
weren't listening.
Did you like it?
I said that earlier. I didn't think it was that great. It was okay. I thought Richard Dreyfuss was good in it, and Terry Garr. It was nice to see her in it, but I mean, it was. I don't know. It was just kind of slow, and I mean, it did have good visuals, I guess, for the '70s. But I thought E.T. was better because I've always heard they're kind of like sister movies.
Well, they're very
And-
different. Yeah.
Well, they are, but then there's the aliens, and the aliens did kind of look ET-ish from the back. Like Brandon said that too. He goes, they kind of have outline look like ET, or they reminded him of ET, but I don't know. It wasn't my favorite movie.
Oh, and we have a very special Night Owls next week. I guess we can already announce this
Yes.
because we're going to have a guest and we're going to
Yeah.
interview her. And this is actually Sasha that kind of pushed us on. I want to get her so we can see her here.
Her name's Colonel.
Well, I'm going to bring this up so people can
Okay.
see it. We're going to have this lady on, Colonel Kurtz. She covers controversy, politics, and Marilyn Manson.
Well, she was covering the Me Too stuff about Marilyn Manson, that she doesn't think he did it. And I guess she'd covered some of the Johnny Depp stuff. I discovered her because I was on Twitter and I saw Ralph fighting with her. Because I follow Ralph. And then
Right.
I looked at her stuff and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And
You know, I guess I'm older. I never really followed Marilyn Manson.
don't think you would like Marilyn Manson.
No, probably not.
I don't know if most of your audience would like him.
Yeah, I don't. I
It
don't
was
know.
like shock rock, kind of.
I don't even know one of his songs.
Yes, he do. He did a cover of "Sweet Dreams Are Made of."
Oh yeah, I've heard of
He
that.
did a cover of that, and then he did "The Beautiful People, The Beautiful People." You never heard that?
Uh-uh.
That was popular. And then I had a lot of hits in the '90s. I
Really?
remember the first time I'd never even heard him on the radio, and me and my friend, two of my friends, we went to the music store and we saw him because we're looking through all the albums, and all the names of the songs were just like really fucked up, and like Cake and Sodomy and Dope Hat and all these weird names. It was before Antichrist Superstar came out even. And we were like, what the hell? And then my friend ended up getting Smells Like Children was the name of the album that had Sweet Dreams on it. And then they started playing
I bet
Beautiful People.
Joe Biden would have liked that album.
And then all the people in the band had the name of like a model or an actress.
And
then
that's
a
why he
serial,
named himself
and then a
Marilyn
serial
Manson.
killer. You know, it was like
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson. There was Twiggy Ramirez.
But Manson, Charles Manson, wasn't a serial
I know,
killer.
but he's still notorious though.
I know. You want to read this, Adam?
Oh, sure, Adam. Thank you. My best friend from the Navy works as an insurance adjuster. I do tradesman work with hands outside all day. He told me to get an insurance job or a cybersecurity job, but I told him the trades will keep me younger, longer. Hail. Yeah, I think it's good to be in the trades. I kind of wish now, looking back on it, and when I got out of high school, I kind of wish I had gone and done something like that. Like I took my car in today, and it's like they have to be making money hand over fist at that place. It stays constantly busy. And if you know how to do anything like that, a friend of mine, I'm getting a shed, they're going to put electricity, or my friend's husband, he's going to do the electrical work. I don't know, it'd be nice to know how to do that. My dad was like that.
I'm kicking. I didn't get into OnlyFans. That's where the
shut
money
up,
is.
Paul.
Well, you saw that. And
I don't think you could be in that.
Boogie is, and we can transition to that. And would you pay to watch Boogie have sex?
No, it's gross.
That could be interesting, just because I don't know how he has cured. You remember in that documentary, they had that prostitute, and her face was hidden.
Oh yeah, and she had to
said
quit.
that he actually drove her out of the profession. It's because he's so disgusting.
I don't know which you're talking about. That's Portrait of American Family. That was their first album, but that Sweet Dreams was on Smells Like Children.
Oh, here's Louis Cypher.
Portrait's a better album, I thought.
Here's Louis Cypher.
Oh, that makes me upset.
You want to read it? So people
Yes,
see it?
Louis Cypher. Oh, I'm jealous. I have tickets to Maryland in August. He puts on a great show and great music. I know. I just found out he's going to be at the Amp here, and I wanted to go, and I have to work that night. And
Oh,
I really wanted to go. I saw that they're even doing a meet and greet. It's like $500. You can meet him, and you get you get a seat even. I mean, there's just no way I can go because I'm taking a night off to go to Korn. I'm taking my friend's daughter to see Korn. Like, she's 16. She's never been to a concert. Her friend's going to. They were super excited about it, and my friend did not want to take her because she doesn't want to go.
You know,
to a-
it's refreshing. A 16-year-old teenage girl wants to see Korn and not Taylor Swift.
I know. Well, I was debating going to see Megadeth again because they're going to be on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And the way my job works, I can take off Friday night, but I can come in the weekend and do my job.
Mm-hmm.
And since Megadeth is Friday, I could do that, but Marilyn Manson's on a Tuesday. So the only way I could go would be to take the night off. And I'm already taking a night off to go to Korn. And then I'm taking a night off to go to, we're going to see Tucker Carlson, which is kind of like, how funny is that? Korn and yeah, those two things don't really go together. But so I can't take another night off, and they're not.
Yeah,
gonna be happy,
we'll
'cause
be
I just
in-
took 3 weeks off there because I had to take 2 for recovery.
We're gonna do a road trip to Tulsa to see Tucker Carlson. So maybe people want to. It'd be kind of fun if you happen to be there. We'll
Yeah,
say
if you
hi
happen to be, it's going to be at the BOK Center in Tulsa.
We'll just meet up with you, say hi and stuff. So
yeah, so look for us at Tucker.
yeah. So I'll be dropping red
Stop
pills.
fighting. Psst. They always do this when we're trying to do a show.
No, I'll be telling Tucker, quit stealing my material. No, I won't do that. But so yeah, I'm looking. I really do like Tucker. He's
Yeah, I do too.
he's a great speaker and he's funny and he's a great guy. So I'm happy. I'm gonna be happy to see him on that. That's for sure.
Me too.
I
I am excited to take my friend's daughter to see Korn though, because I've never seen Korn. Another friend of mine said that it was the loudest concert she had ever been to. And so I always wear earplugs anyway because I'm like half deaf.
That reminds me of a Spinal Tap. They were the loudest band in England or something.
Yeah.
That's what you're known as.
Well, this one goes to 11.
I'm the loudest, yeah, because our amps go up to 11, not 10. They're one louder. You'd have to watch Spinal Tap.
I love
to get
Spinal
that ref-
Tap.
That was a great. That
It
was
is great.
Even though Rob Reiner's now a total shitlib, but yeah,
He made good movies back in the day.
He
That's
did.
what sucks. A lot of his
I know.
movies I really love. The Sure Thing, that
Mhm.
was great. Stand By Me was great. What else did he do? Oh, Throw Mama from the Train, that was great.
Mhm. Yeah, that was. So
I think you had something else. I saw something. I thought
did
I saw something. Go back to all the.
we should probably check Rumble. No, Rumble, we don't have anything on Power Chat.
No, what was I could have swore I saw something there. My best friend. Oh wait, we
We
already
already
read
did these.
that. That's just where they all go at once.
Yeah, the super chats go here or stream element tips. So, but rants I have to look on Rumble here. So that's why there's kind of a little bit different. So that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I have a picture of me from when I went to New York City, when I was right out of high school, and I had a picture of Marilyn Manson on my shirt, and it's me in front of the two Twin Towers.
Yeah.
And everybody loves that picture, and I'm like smoking a cigarette, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was like, if I could do the meet and greet, I could maybe like show him, but I won't. I get to work. Oh, what's that?
I was just going to show a little bit of this if you want to.
If you want to.
You don't want to?
I don't really care about it.
We'll just do it briefly, okay?
All right.
Well, because it actually made news. Here we go. This is about Boogie, and in case you guys don't know him, he's kind of is a famous YouTuber here in Fayetteville. And he started off, he's this fat guy in the upper corner there. He started off making like funny videos about World of Warcraft.
Right.
And then he kind of got into a whole spiral. But a couple of years ago, he claimed he got cancer and he raised like $10,000 for it. And
being confronted tonight.
they confronted him.
I am 99% sure that you are faking.
No, don't move. All.
You are faking your cancer diagnosis, Boogie.
That's wild. Just real quick, of course, this is Destiny right down here in the bottom left. Next to
There we saw Destiny at the bowling kingpin.
Yeah, he was kind of a dick.
He's a little
thought.
guy,
I
by
didn't
the
really
way.
like him.
The word cancer.
He said polycythemia vera, which is a form of cancer, as he explained it to me.
So we won't watch this all, but what happened is they kind of all got together with him and they said, do you have any proof you have cancer? And he got all upset, Boogie. And Boogie has a whole history of lying. And Boogie, oh, of course I do. And they said, well, give us some medical proof. And, oh, I'm not going to do that. It's beneath my dignity. And this is a guy that literally, I think Keemstar paid him to strip naked and moo as a cow, and he literally did that. So
He would pimp his girlfriend out.
Oh yeah. And but so they offered him. They said, "Hey, we'll give you." I heard he got up to $80,000 if you will just show us your diagnosis.
Well, he showed his meat curtain on that documentary, and that documentary alone was cringe.
Yeah.
It was funny, but
So what's your thoughts on that? That's got to be low, faking cancer.
yeah, that's the lowest low. I know somebody in real life that did that.
I did too. Years ago, I worked with a guy that did that. He
A
claimed,
friend of mine's girlfriend did that because I think he was going to dump her, and I have cancer.
yeah, there's a
That's
lot
going
of,
to come back on you. I'm sorry. I believe in karma. If you do shit like that, you better hope you don't get some horrible form of cancer. Oh, you missed my power chat about movies. Also, ELO is having their
here it
farewell
is.
tour.
Here it is. Oh, I love ELO. Okay, Lewis Cipher.
Oh, thank you. You should watch Sleepaway Camp. Don't look it up ahead of time. Also, are you guys going to see... Can you move the
Longlegs.
mouse? I've seen Sleepaway Camp. It's been a long time. I should watch it again. I remember it. Paul's probably never seen it.
Well, don't
What
spoil it.
is-
It sounds like there's a big twist in it.
It
huh?
was on one of the free sites, not Tubi. It was on the other one that I used to watch.
Hmm.
I can't remember. We can find it.
We should
What
watch
is
it.
Longlegs? Look that up because that sounds familiar. I wanted to see that Maxine, but then I saw that it's part of a trilogy, and I have not seen the other ones.
Mm-hmm. Longlegs 2024. Is that a repeat of something? Is it a America horror film? Let me see if I can get maybe we get a movie clip or whatever.
Yeah.
We can show that so for the audience. Okay, let's just take a look here.
If it's a horror movie, I probably will see it.
All right, well, I'll show it to you guys. We'll just watch this clip. Where is this here?
Yeah, guys, hit the like button. Somebody said in the
Yeah,
chat.
like and subscribe. I'd love to get to 100,000 eventually on YouTube. And follow me on X. I'm trying to grow that
Yeah,
too.
maybe one day you can be on Megyn Kelly's show or some of these big names. I think you're probably on some of this stuff.
I don't know.
You were at Amarin, so it's like,
Yeah, well, shows Michelle.
yeah,
Looks like a horror movie or maybe a rom-com.
you're just listening to this one as well.
What could this bad guy do?
Don't move.
I'll probably go see it.
It didn't really show much what that movie's
I know,
about.
so it might be really good because they didn't show it.
Yeah, I'm not really so yeah, maybe we will. Maybe we will
I
see
have
that.
tickets to see The Lion King tomorrow. It's in theaters for the anniversary. No one wanted to go. Like, Paul doesn't like Lion King and Brandon doesn't like Lion King. I don't know how you don't like Lion King.
It was okay the first time I saw it, but you know.
He doesn't like cartoons. That's cool. ELO is playing it. So is it like the original or like one
I loved
guy?
ELO. That
I
was
know, that's
great.
like your favorite band, isn't it, besides Pink Floyd? That's what you always play.
Well, I like that more death metal, like Steve Winwood.
No, you do not. Steve Winwood's not death metal.
You really? Or heavy metal
up.
is he, or death metal? I
So
always
the
get
guys in
confused.
ELO have to be pretty old then.
I know all these people. Well,
Did you see
Marilyn
that-
Manson's got to be old too,
He's got his 50s. I think he was born in like 68.
and he's still doing. That's pretty good. He's still out there.
He's close. He's closer to my age than you are.
Mm-hmm. But
But
he's still
yeah.
active. That's
Yes,
good to
he
know.
is.
Good to know on that. So,
That reminded me of something. Oh, Mick Jagger, did you see that? I guess he said something about Justin Trudeau doing a good job or something. He got booed.
Yeah.
And like me and Brandon were talking about it, like he really knows anything about Justin
Yeah.
Trudeau. Probably lives in some kind of bubble. Sometimes I think maybe the celebrities are just dumb because they have so much money and so much power that they don't really care who's in charge, because as long as things are going good for them, they must think these politicians
Right.
are doing a good job. And sometimes that's why I wonder if that's why they don't really care.
Well, see, if you're rich, you don't. Diversity to you is just what you see on the cocktail parties.
Right, that's what
You don't have to live around it. You don't have to live around the
Right.
insanity, the crime, the filth.
And if you meet people that are diverse, they're probably going to be like more
Well,
intelligent. Or they're
exactly.
not going to be
So
like
if
the
you're real
people
rich,
that live around here.
your idea of like, oh, we're having this fabulous gay trans man. He's just so hilarious. And, that's your exposure. to it.
Yes.
You don't have to live in the crap. And so that's the problem with people who are wealthy. And I think Mick Jagger, he's married to someone that's really young, too. Let me take a look at
Isn't she
this.
like 23 or 28 or like young enough to be his great-great-granddaughter? Because we looked up, he is 80 next month, I think, or 81. No, I think he was born in, was it 42 he was born in?
I'm going to look this up because I just thought he got married here. No, that was the old one or
I
girlfriend.
like Bianca.
Let me just see if I can do this. He was married a few times.
He has
I think.
5 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren.
Mm-hmm. Or girlfriend, maybe it is. I thought she married
Girlfriend
her.
age is the first thing that pops up. Why are you using Bing? Bing sucks.
Why is this? I shouldn't have been. I don't know why that did. I think I accidentally hit something. I know. No, I'm trying to do this. Sorry about this, guys.
Something be nice.
All right, let's try to see this.
80, yeah, he is 80.
He's 80 years old. Let me see if
He's
I can...
older than my dad would be.
That's amazing that he's that old.
He's about to be 81, and they're going on tour, I believe.
Well, how come I'm not getting the what's about him here? I guess that's
She's way too young. That's what we know about her. There we go.
all right, here we'll just do this here. She's too young for what?
For him.
Who is Mick Jagger's girlfriend? All about Melanie Hamrick. They've been dating since 2014.
I don't even think she's that pretty. She's a former ballerina.
Yes.
Why is...
So I guess we could look up her. I could.
Just look her name up.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look her name up and see her age here.
Chunk, you can come up here if you want to. Hey.
That's funny. It's one of the big searches. She's 36 now.
Oh, that's
He's
not as
80.
bad as it was, but that's still gross. That'd be like dating your grandfather.
Would that be a gilf?
It'd be just like, yeah. God, gross. And he doesn't even look good for his age.
Yeah.
Oh, Lewis Cipher also, thank you. $3. Rice or potatoes? I like both, but I'd have to go with potatoes if I had to choose one.
Yeah, I'm a potato guy.
I do like both.
I like fried rice.
Oh, I love rice from like the Chinese restaurant. I
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat?
think so. Yeah. I buy the kind that you
Rice-a-roni.
just microwave.
So,
Man, this is the most uncomfortable seat. Chunk, you can come up here. And you keep pulling my headphones out.
sorry about
It's
that.
alright.
Yeah, we gotta get that splitter thing. I think I left it back at the home. So,
Come on, Chunk.
what do you? I guess the other thing I had is some of the gossip as Lucas Gage had his meltdown on X and got suspended for 6 months. What did you think about all that?
I don't know. It seems like he kind of like went nuts. Kind of like Jordan Peterson. That was kind of gossip this week too.
Oh
Him
yeah,
and his daughter, because his daughter. was
here's
ta-
his. And Jordan Peterson used to be like his manner. I'm not saying he was exactly like, but he was kind of like a Jared Taylor. We were just talking about it. Very calm, intellectual type of guy.
I liked Jared way more than.
Well, yeah. But Jordan Peterson, I don't know if he's back on the drugs, but he just had this epic meltdown.
Maybe he feels guilty because he's a sellout now working for Daily Wire.
Hey, new Nazi troll rats. I mean, what is he? Is he like, because that was Lucas Gage would always say, rat-faced demons, Anonymously trumping your anti-Semitism doesn't rescue you from your mother's basement. I mean, this is just like stupid insults for someone that there's no
Why doesn't
gravitas
he
here.
just ignore them? That's what I
Exactly.
don't understand. Why are you even engaging with them?
Or from the demon of resentment. So this is the whole thing. If you have questions about maybe Israel killing people in Gaza, it's because you resent them.
Well, and look at how long this thing is. It's a long.
And then he changes. It doesn't make you more attractive to women. Like what the hell? How's that even related? That's so
Right.
stupid. It's could you imagine this? Be someone yelling at George Washington. It's not going to get you laid being against the British. It's so bizarre,
It is.
And then they're all upset, and he just had a total meltdown on
Your
this. So.
Cheeto dust-covered, sweat-stained white T-shirt and hide behind your mommy's skirts, scum. I saw what you said. Are you okay?
Yeah, I did ask him if he's okay. I love watching this meltdown. It was kind of funny.
I don't know. It's in some ways, but in other ways, it's kind of too bad.
Yeah, because
he was kind of
he
like,
was always very rational. He was like, you got to choose your words
sorry.
carefully, and
I mean, I was never like a big fan of him. I didn't hate him, but I remember he'd be on Crowder's show back in the day.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd watch Crowder, and I always thought it was so boring, and I never cared about it. Maybe I'm just too low IQ, but I wouldn't watch him. But I mean, it's nice. He had good things to say, and he would try to tell people kind of take care of yourself, and he wouldn't call people by their pronouns, and I thought that was cool.
That was, yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, he's intelligent. It's too bad we need more people like him on our side, but then he goes nuts.
Well, I compared him to Lucas Gage because Lucas Gage, I thought maybe it was an act, but when you're in the public limelight like Jordan Peterson or Lucas Gage, I learned long a time ago how to deal with trolls.
Just ignore
You just
him.
ignore them. You don't give them oxygen because the minute you start to focus on them, it just encourages it. And that's what happened with Lucas Gage. He got trolled. They sent him pizzas and Chinese food and whatever. And I don't support that at all, especially the swatting.
Unless you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, but he just melted down.
Like
and Jordan Peterson, who cares if these guys are losers?
The only thing I could think with him, maybe he's like upset because they're going after his daughter. And that's what triggered all that.
Oh, why? Because she wanted to censor Fuentes or something like that.
Yeah, well, she was calling for censor. Was it specifically Fuentes?
Oh no, it's just Nazis or whatever that
Yeah.
means. Yeah.
Because people criticize certain people, you're not allowed to criticize people.
Yeah. I remember that. So yeah, so that we had the Lucas Gage kind of meltdown there. So he's
I didn't pay much attention to him. I don't really like know much about him really. I think I remember when he was on your show years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I like him. Okay, he just kind of went crazy about the whole. Sometimes when people talk about that issue, they really just kind of go off the deep
Kind of like
end.
Patrick Little.
Yeah, that's a key case. Yeah. So sometimes you just gotta let it go and just focus on what you're doing and not just react to what people say and stuff. Because if you react to what people say, you just will get more of that behavior because that's what they want. Because when Lucas Gage was melting down, Poll on 4chan thought it was funny, and Kiwi Farms, so you just attract that attention.
Well, it's kind of like when Ralph does dumb stuff and he gets mad. It's like, well, stop saying and doing dumb stuff.
But
like
for some of these people, that's how they get noticed.
Right.
And so it's sort of that balance line of you got to be more and more extreme to get attention. And you got to put on the clown shoes and do silly things. That's why I thought maybe Lucas Gage was just doing it. When he burned the Talmud and he chopped the Israeli flag up with his sword, was that just trying to get more attention? I'm not really quite sure.
Well, it's like, what was funny too, I saw on YouTube, Kino Casino covered like Ralph fighting with Ali Jamal, or he got mad at Ali Jamal, and he was talking about when he like had his party at the castle. Remember that?
Yeah, and he
Was that a year ago?
masturbated in the...
Yeah, he said, I bust a nut in your parents' bathroom, and it's like, that's not the win you think it is. That's gross. And then he said he sent it to somebody, and it's like, who did you send that to? And can you imagine opening your phone and seeing that and be like, ugh. I guess maybe he sent it to his wife at the time. I don't know. But It's like the guy's like mentally off. Just let it go.
Oh, that alley. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's slow. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Yeah, so that was some of that. So there's been a few gossip, and I also had stuff with the whole Candace Owens is really kind of
Oh
melting
yeah.
down
I
too.
wonder if that's hurting her. I've seen a lot of people still defend her though, because that Michaela, I think that's her name. Jordan Peterson's daughter, isn't her name Michaela? She Candace did a video about her.
Is
And
Jordan Peterson married?
did his wife have cancer or something?
I don't know. He
I
just
almost
always
wanna say-
focuses on his daughter.
I don't
It's-
know. I almost feel like maybe his wife's still alive, but it seemed like, didn't she get sick? Isn't that why he got addicted to pills or something? I don't know the whole lore with those guys. I'm sure
Yeah.
people in the chat know. But Candace Owens did a video talking about him, and I didn't see the video because I don't typically watch. Once in a while, I'll watch her, but usually it's just because I wanted to see what she said about the little feud with her and Shapiro. That's really the only time I ever watch, because I don't particularly trust her either.
But she's going pretty wild and hardcore. Like a lot of the Nazi stuff was just propaganda, she was saying.
And I mean, I'm sure a lot of what she says is true, but she's like, she better be careful. Like, she'll start getting canceled you got to take baby steps with that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't just go all out. But I wonder if this is hurting these people. Like, I bet Jordan Peterson's being hurt, because I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that they're not going to follow him anymore and how disappointed they are in him. And I don't know what people think.
He's a man that he made millions of dollars and got famous, but he actually seems more unhappy than when I first started to follow him, and he was just a professor.
Yeah.
He seemed to have a really nice life, seemed happy. Now he's got millions of dollars in fame, and he became a drug addict. He's always angry and crying and carrying on like a bitch. It's just really,
It's kind of sad.
it really is.
Well, I think, doesn't he give most of his money to his daughter?
I don't know.
I remember when Sydney and Elijah did that You Were Here show or whatever on YouTube, and they had her on it. I didn't know who the hell she was. I can't remember. She had a place, I want to say in Texas or Tennessee, somewhere in the South.
Why is she famous anyway?
Because she's his daughter, and then she was paying some exorbitant amount of money for an apartment, and it's like,
Right.
she couldn't afford that. He was paying for that.
Yeah.
And then she was doing that meat scam because Red Bar covered it, where she was basically charging people $600 a month, I think it was, to have access to her. That was the highest level you could pay, I think. Anytime you wanted about her eating just their carnivore diet. She was into, and I think that's still on YouTube if you guys want to watch it. It's pretty funny where he kind of like makes fun of her for that, but it's like she wouldn't be anybody if she wasn't his daughter. Now, when I saw her on that show, she didn't seem unreasonable about stuff. Like, she seemed okay, but I don't think she was anything special.
Wasn't she married and got divorced, and the rumor was she screwed around with that Andrew Tate guy?
Well, she went to Romania and saw him, and there was a picture on Twitter of them sitting by each other, and if you look closely, somebody zoomed in, and you can see, I think it's his arm around her waist.
Oh, really?
So they probably slept together. Why the hell would you go all the way to Romania?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So
That guy's gross anyway. I don't know. Is that Mike Tyson?
yeah.
I kind of like Mike Tyson. He's a big pigeon guy. I like pigeons too.
Well, let's take a look at this list for people. So I was just Mike Tyson throwing darts. Story videos. Take a look here.
Throwing sharp objects blindfolded of the day. You ready for that, Mike? Mm-hmm. Will you go ahead and throw that blindfold over your eyeballs for me?
Charlene Monk stuff right here, babe.
You promise you can't see anything? Want blue or red?
Anything. Just give me something.
Anything. Here we go.
Damn.
You hit the board. That doesn't usually happen. You're doing well. Oh my God! Did everybody see that? Okay, last one.
I'm not looking. Look at my eyes. I'm not looking at anything.
Bullseyes. What? Take your blindfold off. Look what you did.
It's the one thing. I'm not gonna brag, but thank you.
Throwing sharp.
That was pretty
That's cool,
impressive.
yeah.
Yeah. He's got definitely good hand-eye coordination.
He
I guess it
does.
comes in for being a boxer and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
It is cool.
I guess I'm about done. How about you, Sasha?
Yeah, I think so.
We had a good turnout, 1,100 people.
We did.
And thank you. It's been a fun show.
It has.
And again, remember, next week on Night Owls, we're going to have our guests. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk Marilyn Manson and Me Too and all that type of stuff. I'll have to do some research about her and what to ask and stuff. And we can talk. And see, I'm glad you told me, because I thought Marilyn Manson might have been related to Charles Manson, but they're not related.
No, they're not. Yeah, somebody said Jordan doesn't acknowledge God. Oh yeah, I saw that. Does that say Tammy? Sorry, I need bifocals. It's hard for me to see. Yeah, Tammy, is that his wife? Maybe he still has a wife. Like I said, I don't know a lot about him.
Well, I did that in the video. Was that a public video, or did I do that? And I get so many videos.
I think probably private.
But I went through his. If you guys on Gumroad, you saw that word salad he did. Someone asked, "Do you believe in God?"
Yeah, I saw that.
Wow. That's a complicated question, and you
you?
have to say, "What do you mean by do?" And what do you mean by the word you? You know, it's like, what, were you playing stupid? What's your problem? So yeah, that's not the Jordan Peterson that I liked years ago.
Oh, somebody said his daughter went after Candace first. I don't know. See, I don't know everything. I just get bits and pieces of stuff on Twitter, so.
Yeah, that's Candace years ago. I'm blocked by her, you know, because she got mad at me. I don't know why, years ago, and blocked me.
Worski blocked me. And so did that Tree of Logic, that ghetto trash blocked me. Because the only reason I looked at her was somebody had something, because they were going after, I think, Rachel Wilson or somebody, and I just wanted to see what the drama was. And it was like, you are blocked. And I thought, I've never even talked to her or commented on any of her stuff. I don't know why she's... And I don't have a lot of followers. I'm not like big on Twitter or anything. I don't know why she blocked me.
Right.
I know Marilyn Manson did not have a rib removed. That was a myth. Kind of like the other myth was that he was Kevin from Wonder Years. Do you remember that?
Oh, I didn't.
Back in the day,
that.
people say he kind of looked like, you could see that why people maybe would have thought that.
That would be funny though.
So I think you got everything.
Yeah, guys, it's been a lot of fun. So we will
Yes.
see you we will next week, because we're going to have a guest, and that'll be a fun show. So guys, join on. We'll talk about Me Too and Marilyn Manson.
Okay, yeah, Tammy is his wife, so he still has a wife then, I guess.
He never shows her.
I know, it's weird. Maybe his daughter just wanted to be
Well, it's kind of
famous.
like Trump and Ivanka. That's his little precious girl.
Right.
And the only thing I know about his daughter is she's kind of appeared half naked across the internet quite a bit.
She has, and she's not very attractive. But she had a lot of bad plastic surgery.
Yeah.
I don't know why people do that. Sometimes you're better just to stay the way you are.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank
All
you.
right.
Talk to you guys
Bye.
later. Bye-bye.